there, I'm Richard Harvey, and I want to introduce you to a new instrument in my collection. Is it a mandolin? It certainly looks like one, but it's tuned like a tenor ukulele, or, if you like the top 4 strings of a guitar with a capo on the 5th fret. So top note is A, but all the fingerings for chords are the same as per a ukulele or the top 4 strings of a guitar. Okay, so all those chords come out absolutely fine. Okay, so my good friends at Stentor, who are responsible for the admirable Ozark range, have created this prototype for me. And so you look at it and you say, well, is that just not an A-series mandolin with different strings on it? Well, actually, no. For a start, the nut is cut in a very different way to accommodate the very different string gauges in use here. But most importantly, the neck is quite a bit wider than a normal mandolin, which is imperative because all these guitar chords, they need a lot of real estate because things can get pretty congested with those chords in there. They're a lot more complex in terms of the amount of space they need for the fingers than normal mandolin chords. Anyway, so what do we call this? A mandolele or a uke-olin or anything you like? I call it a mandolele, but up to you. This is really for guitarists and uke players who want to get into the mandolin world to get that cutting edge, that power and that tinkly, folky quality, but without having to learn new chord shapes and new fingerings. So this one I've strung with high pairings, very much like a 12-string guitar, on the 3 lower strings. So the top 2 strings, the A, they're unison. The next one, E octave. That E also being the top string of the mandolin. Next one is the C, that's also an octave. And the G is also an octave. But you could have just the top, just the bottom 2 rather, as octaves, or just the bottom 1, or you could have them all in unison, which would give you a very different sound, rather like a cittern, I would say, but perfectly useful for all that. Okay, so as a lead instrument, this is great. You can just play. Play that in unison with the violin. It will cut through beautifully, be a lovely texture. Likewise with a concertina or accordion, that would blend absolutely beautifully. Will do its job to perfection. Okay, it's a chordal instrument. Say if you're playing alongside guitars in a group, it will sound like there's a 12-string guitar in there with you. So very useful for that, good strumming instrument. But where this one really comes into its own for me is on finger style, in my case with nails or with, I guess, with finger picks. And that octave stringing really adds a delicious set of random overtones to things. centred very much in the key of C, F and G. There's your C chord, there's your G chord, and there's your F. But if you want to get very comfortably into the land of D, G and A, just pop a capo, get a banjo capo and stick it on the second fret, and you're immediately very comfortably in D, G and A, which is great. Okay, this is a little beauty, this instrument, and I hope that Stentor and Ozark go ahead and manufacture it. Not only is this a gateway into the sound world of mandolin for guitar and uke players, but also it would function as a wide-necked A-series mandolin, which for some people, myself included, with quite big hands, that really helps you get around the chords. The early Gibson A-series had a wider neck than the later snakehead, Lloyd Law period ones. And I prefer those because you just have room to get your fingers around those chords. Anyway, enough said. Delighted with this, and I thank Dave Carroll at Stentor for getting his designers on the case of this thing. It's a really great result, and I shall continue to use it with a great deal of pleasure. Thank you for your time.